Make life yummy with food for your mind and tummy. Lady Yum Yum.
Welcome to the Lady Yum Yum Show. You might have noticed our theme song was a little different. That was Haley. She's an 11-year-old actress and singer, which I'll speak with later in the show. But first, I'm going to make my Southwest breakfast. To start, we'll need some sauteed vegetables. I have an onion I picked up at the farmer's market, so it still has the greens on it. And I'm just going to cut the ends off both sides of the onion. There we go. So now I'll cut the onion in half, and I'll take out the outer layer of the skin on both halves. This is a sweet onion I found at the farmer's market. I also like to use red onions. You want a sweeter flavor, not the harsh yellow or brown onion flavor. Now I'll slice the onions lengthwise, which is a little unusual. I just like them lengthwise. I like the size the pieces come out when I do it lengthwise. They kind of match the pepper slices that I'll do. This was a pretty small onion, so I'm using both halves. If it was a larger onion, I would have just used half of it. I also need 2 jalapenos. I like spiciness in my food. I cut the end off, and then I cut them in half, and in half again. Next, I'll take the membrane and the seeds out, because that's where a lot of the heat is, and I'll slice them thinly to kind of match the shape of the onion. If you don't like jalapenos, use bell pepper, or if you have mushrooms or any other kind of vegetable, use those with this recipe. Now I'll put my onions and peppers in the frying pan. I'm using an iron frying pan, but non-stick will work fine too. And I've turned it on medium and added about a tablespoon of olive oil to it. Use enough olive oil to coat the pan with a thin layer. Next, we're going to assemble the rest of the plate. I'm going to take 1 corn tortilla right out of the bag. You don't have to cook it or do anything special with it. And put some beans on it. I've used black beans and adobo sauce. You could use refried beans, or if you don't like beans, leave them off completely. Then I'll take about a 1/4 cup of a 4-cheese blend that I like to use. It has cheddar and Monterey Jack and a couple Mexican cheeses mixed all together. It makes it easy. I'm going to use 1 egg per tortilla, and I am so picky about my eggs. I hate eggshells. It just ruins a meal for me. So this is how I always have to crack my eggs. First, I use a blunt surface to crack them. Another egg is perfect. Now we'll fry our egg. I'm going to make them sunny side up, and I always use a glass bowl so I can look around for shells. I'm telling you, I hate shells. Can't stand them. So let's turn on our stove to a medium heat. I'm going to use just a very little bit of olive oil in my pan. You could use butter or any other kind of oil, and you don't need much if you have a nice nonstick pan. And hear that splattery sound? That's about how high you want your heat. So when I put this egg in, you want it to make some noise. So here we go. Perfect. See how the white makes a little noise? That's perfect. Now I cover my sunny side eggs. I just find I get a better overall evenness to the whites, and my yolk comes out still runny. So you want the whites completely cooked. That's to protect you from salmonella. And the yolk should be thickened, but not hard for a sunny side egg. I cover the tortilla and beans and cheese with parchment paper because beans have a nasty habit of exploding in the microwave, and I have a nasty habit of hating to clean microwaves. Ooh, perfect. Cheesy deliciousness. So put some of my pepper and onion mixture on, and they got pretty caramelized. You might want to play with that. You might not want them quite so caramelized. Save half for another one. And my egg. Perfect. The white is cooked completely, and the yolk is still runny. So we're ready. Let me slide that guy on there. Perfect. There we go, our perfect sunny side egg. And I like to add a little bit of guacamole to this. If I had salsa, I might add that. It's really whatever you prefer. And salt and pepper to taste. Now the favorite part, you get to eat it. Yum. Gotta get a little guacamole. Happy dance while I chew. This recipe is just the perfect combination of peppers and beans and cheese. It's really delicious. Stay tuned. I'll have Haley joining us any minute now, and we'll talk to her about her acting and singing career. I'm here with Haley. She sang the opening a little while ago. Thanks for joining me, Haley.
You're welcome.
So when did you start performing, and how did you know you wanted to?
When I was little, I started performing at like a small little dance place. And then a couple years after, I saw that I really loved it and it was something that I really wanted to commit my life to, and that's when I realized that I wanted to do it for the rest of my life.
What's the best part about being a singer and actress?
Getting the audience reactions, and not only that, learning a bunch of songs and going out and auditioning and just the fun of it all.
Tell me about the auditioning. Do you get nervous, or what's it all like?
Sometimes I get nervous, but I just shake it off because I know when I get in there, I might be nervous at first, but then you just let it go.
If you could pick anybody to perform with, who would it be?
Probably Jordan Sparks or Adam Levine, because their voices, they're so beautiful and I love their music, and so it would be special to have an opportunity to sing with them.
And so if someone's watching us and they think they might want to do this, you know, be in plays or go on auditions, what advice would you give someone?
To never give up, because you never know. And just because you don't make that one audition doesn't mean that you're not going to make another one, because there's always going to be something else. And it's something that if you give up on, you're never going to know if you would have made it. And so I would never give up. I'm never going to give up.
That's awesome advice, Haley. Thanks for joining us. Thanks out there for joining us. See our website for all the details on today's episode. See you next time.